T-Boys TV, we're here outside Kenilworth Road. Another, loss this season. Rare one at home. We don't really lose at home a lot, as we know, throughout the season, compared to away anyway. But it's a defeat at home to Norwich.
It is, Tyler. It's like the same old interview about to happen here, isn't it? And like you say, we're normally better at home, or the results are better at home. The performances aren't great at home, to be fair. And today was a bit similar. I would have given today probably a 6 out of 10, 6.5. I mean, there was times today that we were the better side. So if Rob says in his interview tonight we were the better side at times, I would agree with him. Unlike Swansea, when anyone that was there or watching on TV realised that we were just being overawed against Swansea, and the possession was all theirs. I think today we were the better side, but I mean, it's all about taking the chances, isn't it? And you see the team news drop again. We know it's going to be 3 at the back. It's just who the wing backs are going to be. So obviously the wing backs were in today, and I mean, some of the players. Nelson was excellent today. I mean, he needs a shout out because he was excellent. I thought Walters. I mean, first half his touch was a bit heavy at times and stuff, but I mean, he's just getting back into match fitness, isn't he? And but again, it's just the same old, isn't it? We're just not ruthless enough going forward, and we're just so predictable. And, the longer the game went on, we had a few chances. I mean, we weren't by miles the better side, but we created a few decent chances. Didn't really test their keeper. Kaminsky made a good save first half, I think it was, with his feet. And I'd have taken a draw, to be honest. Before the game, I went for 1-1. And as the game goes on, I mean, they sort of came back into the game a bit second half with a few breakaway chances. They were dangerous at the start of the second half, I must admit. And Bell was good. I've got to say, Bell again. There's a few players that played well today at the back. But I'd have taken a draw as the game went on. And then when they scored, you just think, here we go again, isn't it? It's just, once we go 1-0 down home or away, the heads tend to drop. And you just kind of know we're in trouble straight away. And then the crowd were baying for substitutions, weren't they? And they were made so late. I mean, it was 78 minutes or something, and it's almost like Rob's been held against his will. I mean, he makes the subs so late. He'll never switch from 3 at the back, which is, what he does, but it's not working. And we're in the same boat as Man U were with flipping Ineos. I mean, we're just leaving it too late to make a change, keeping the manager in charge like they did with Ten Hag, and then we're just going nowhere. And like I said, after Middlesbrough, that's when Rob should have gone, in my opinion, because we had the 2-week international break. We were awful up till that point in the season, and I thought he'd taken us as far as he could then. Nothing's changed. I mean, I'm on the board side after Middlesbrough for backing Rob and giving him a chance, and obviously he's going to give him money in the window and hope we come through the other side of it. But suddenly now, we've gone further back since Middlesbrough. It's not working. We're 9 on the trot away defeats now. That's 3 defeats over Christmas. You can't keep losing games of football. Whether you back him or not, it's all about the results at the end of the day, isn't it? And I mean, we don't often get much out of QPR, let's be fair about that. So Monday night could be 10 away defeats possibly on the trot. The fans have got very vocal there today, saying sacked in the morning. I mean, I think it may have started at the Norwich end, but it soon quickly got around the Luton end. And the board have got to be thinking about that now, haven't they? Because whether they've backed him or not, it's all about results.
Yeah, exactly that. And, we said it before when we were talking, the home form, when we do eventually lose, because we will at some point, because the performance levels haven't been there this season, it will turn quite heavy. And obviously, like you say, it did a little bit with the atmosphere then. And there was a few boos around where I was. And it has got to that stage now where I just can't see where it changes, really. And again, a very similar goal to what we conceded against Bristol City today.
It was. I think he had a bit too much time on the ball, didn't he? And then, there was a slight pillar in my way at the Oak Road end, but he had too much time to shoot. And I think, from my angle, I thought Kaminsky should have got to the ball. I must admit, it bounced just in front of him. It was a good strike into the corner, but I think he should have saved it. But again, it was just one of those goals where Rob's probably going to say, we switched off again. And I think it looked like we did, because he just had too much space. But once that went in, we were lucky not to go 2-0 down straight after, really. But it's just same old every time, isn't it? You come into a game now expecting a poor performance, whether it's home or away. Well, away you're expecting a defeat, really, because you just can't turn the form around with a flick of a switch. The players aren't doing it, and we haven't got the players coming back to just produce moments of magic to win games instantly. It's just not happening, and we're relying on players coming in January, but they're not going to hit the ground running, and suddenly we're like, we're not going to be like this magnificent team by middle of February. We're in a relegation battle.
And even the 2 players we have signed, they're young, so you can't put all that expectation and pressure on them. Again, youngsters can come in and show their point, like Nelson, for example, and I think Johnson in the recent games has been okay.
Yeah.
But again, you don't want to be heavily reliant on them. You need them other magic players stepping up. and that's what these teams are having, and that's how they're beating us.
Yeah, they are. And these players that we're signing, they're for the future, aren't they? So, I mean, that's all good for the long term. But, I mean, we need to be trying to dip our toes into the loan transfer market, really. And, I mean, I know we keep saying we don't like loan players, but, I mean, we need to do that. But the worry is that who's going to want to come to us at the moment? Because we're not a viable option for anybody, really. I mean, we're in a relegation battle. I know there's a lot going on off the pitch, and that's all for the future, isn't it? But right now, anyone that wants to come to us, they're just in a relegation battle. And I mean, anyone that thinks Luton Town are not in a relegation battle right now, they need to sort of wake up and smell the coffee, because we are. I mean, the way we're playing, it's a proper relegation threatened team, isn't it? So we just need to sort of dust ourselves off and try and go again. But I just don't see how we can. I just think we need to make a move on the man. We've got to change the manager, because it's same old, same old. And like I said to you after Norwich, it's like a Mexican standoff. It's whoever blinks first. I mean, we don't want to get rid of him, and to me, he don't want to be here. And I mean, like I said earlier, those classic examples of never changing from 3 at the back unless we're forced to during a game, when we suddenly play better with 4 at the back, like we did on Thursday against Bristol City. We suddenly looked good at 4 at the back when we had to. And again, making the subs so late, it's all things that, I mean, Rob Edwards ain't daft, but he's doing things that are just illogical, and it's like he's kind of lost the plot, or he just, I don't know, he just don't want to be here or something. It's just all a bit mad. We're just not changed. Nothing's changing, and QPR will be the same. I just know it's going to be the same. We're going to go there, and I don't want to be too negative, but we're probably going to lose the game, because you can't see anything going to change based on what we've seen in the last 15, 20 games. It's just same old, and it's the same players. I know we've got a couple that could start against QPR, but unless they're like going to pull a rabbit out of the hat, it's going to be the same sort of performance.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously we've already played them twice this year, lost both times as well, on top of that, and they just got a very good win against them lot down the road as well. Very convincing.
I see that. I mean, results are starting to go against us as well, which does put a bit more pressure on the decision the board have got to make, because the fact that we keep losing, if teams are picking up points, that don't make it good reading for us at all, does it? I mean, and even Oxford in 3 weeks' time, that's a tricky game for us now, away to Oxford. And I mean, who'd have said that even 2 months ago? And we were lucky to get a draw against them down here, in fairness, when they come back. So every game you look on paper now, they're all tricky games. And, we've got to keep the faith and try and back the club, as we always do. But there's big decisions got to be made now, because, the board are going to be questioned now, because something's got to give, isn't it? You can't carry on like this. It's all about results. Whatever anyone says, whether you back the manager or not, it's all about results. And if we keep losing, something's got to give.
Exactly, and you look at Plymouth, for example. Obviously, they haven't quite got a manager yet, but they've got rid of Rooney. Most of the time, you can, back them at home, sort of thing. Same with Oxford. If they obviously Oxford have got a new manager in, but if Plymouth can get someone in, there's no reason why they can't finish above us. For example, we're definitely in this battle. Hull, got a great win at Blackburn. They can be up there as well. So these teams around, I wouldn't underestimate them. A lot of people have been saying they think we'll survive just because of the better teams, but they're showing ambition by trying to move on, and that's what we feel we have to do.
It's exactly that, and I mean, you can't leave it till March to sack a manager. I mean, if you're going to get rid of a manager like Plymouth have done it, they've done it at the right time. You've got to give yourself a chance to try and survive, and I know there's a 2-week break in March again, but you've got to do it now. It's now or never, really, as far as trying to get rid of a manager and survive in the division, because people are going to think, oh yeah, there's 3 worse teams than Luton. As weeks go on, I'm not so certain there is, because we're playing so bad and we're losing games of football. So, the old trapdoor could be pulled from under our feet if we don't watch ourselves. Yeah. So, time it's gone beyond time for a change. And the board, as I say, they've got big questions to answer, because they back Rob, but it's not working. So now what do? Do you just carry on and hope we survive and bring these players in and improve the squad, or do you just make a decision now? The problem is, who do you bring in? I mean, I can't answer that, because that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult now, because I'm hearing Mark Robbins, who's one of them, has gone to Stoke, or on the verge of going to Stoke. I mean, would you take Steve Cooper?
I mean, I saw your little interview, the old little chat about that the other day. I mean, I don't think you come here anyway.
No.
I don't think you'll come here. And I wouldn't take. I know the first thing the first thing any manager would do is sort the defence out and play 4 at the back. Whoever comes in, that's what they do. I mean, I'm not sure whether I'll take him or not, really. I don't really know. It's a tricky one to answer that. I mean, I do think Rob should go, and I love the guy to bits for what he's done for us, but he's taken us to the end of the road, hasn't he? But I just don't know. I mean, the Wickham guy, there's a lot of people talking about him, but he's a gamble. I mean, I don't know, mate. That's my problem, is who comes in, whether you just sort of stay internally and bring someone off the bench and make them assistant or something, or temporary manager or something. But I don't know. It's a tricky one. I just can't answer that, mate. Sorry.
It's all good. But yeah, thank you again, Mike, for coming on. Good chat.
You too, mate. Happy New Year, pal.
And you.